standard of justice these days. We had a Judiciary Committee meeting today. Let's go to New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew, Texas Congressman Troy Nehls. You two are there. Gentlemen, thanks for helping out. Jeff Van Drew, you're from New Jersey. I grew up in New Jersey. Tell us, what did Garland have to say? I mean, I know you pounded him. What did he say?
He didn't have anything to say. I mean, I asked him simple questions. You know, what really bothers people that I talk to is that literally they were putting undercover agents into churches, into traditional Roman Catholic churches. They have the emails, they have the proof. It wasn't only one field office. They weren't forthright in coming with the information. We had to really press them hard. This is wrong. This is the United States of America. We have freedom of religion and freedom of speech. I was disgusted by that. I asked him a simple question. Did he believe that Roman Catholics were domestic terrorists? And it took him forever to finally begrudgingly say no. I don't understand. If you're telling the truth, you ask me that question, Larry, I say no right off the bat. What he's doing to school boards, literally having agents there when parents express concern about what their children are being taught. Again, that affects everyday average people. They're really concerned about it. FISA, what they did by looking up, again, average folks, regular people, misusing something that allowed them to get into people's personal lives, to allow them to get into all the details of everything they do in their home life, that is wrong. He's in charge, he's responsible, he should own up to it.
Troy Nehls, did you guys discuss, I mean, for example, Donald Trump's, they're trying to push him, I don't know, 750 years in jail, 4 indictments. In my opinion, you may disagree, it's phony as a $3 bill. I mean, it's just free speech. That's all he has, is they're punishing Trump for his views. But you got this other thing going, special counsel, his name is Herr, that's supposed to investigate Joe Biden's documents, classified documents, and we haven't heard a single peep out of this special prosecutor. Did anybody raise that point? What happened to this guy, Herr? Did they throw him under the bus? Is he gone? Is he in a space flight? Is he working for Elon Musk? What happened to this guy?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about that, but what I do know is in my questioning with Garland, he's not serious about anything that took place with Burisma and Hunter Biden being on that board. Everybody knows that Burisma is the energy company, the very corrupt one in Ukraine, and we know there's a lot of corruption over there. When I asked him about the special prosecutor, I said, do you know who Viktor Shokin is? Now, Viktor Shokin was the prosecutor in Ukraine. He's the one that's trying to uncover all of the corruption in the Ukraine. And when he said to me, I don't know who that is. So what that says to me is he's done with Burisma. He doesn't care about Burisma. We showed the video, Joe Biden, on the video screen for everybody to see, where he said, if you don't get rid of this prosecutor who really is looking into Burisma, i.e. my son, you're not going to get this $1 billion loan guarantee. That is quid pro quo, Larry. That is bribery. In my humble opinion, it's impeachment. And I don't think he cares. I just don't think he cares. It's a two-tier justice system, and Garland needs to be impeached himself.
Congressman Nehls just said it. He's absolutely right. What you're speaking about is a two-tiered system of justice. When it's somebody who's a conservative or somebody who's a Republican or somebody that has a different point of view than they do, they're going to go after him hard. But if it's anything to do with the Biden family or anybody else, they don't go after him. They were going to do a unique plea deal, and we all know this, that nobody else in American history of law ever got. Not only that they were going to exonerate his son from what he had done, but they were going to exonerate him from anything they found in the future. This is wrong. He's the man in charge. He's responsible. He can act holier than thou, but he's the man where the buck stops.
Yeah, gentlemen, terrific stuff. I'm sorry we don't have even more time. We will have you back and discuss this stuff more. These hearings are going to go on for a while. Jim Jordan was fabulous on our show last night, walking through it, and you're doing a great job. Thank you for your service. Jeff Van Drew and Troy Nehls, terrific stuff.